Hello everyone, welcome back to Brazil, and today is the Libertadores match at the Estadio Julio Humberto Grondona. I think I pronounced it correctly this time. It's against Arsenal FC of Argentina. Before we get into that, we did have some negotiation updates regarding the one of the heroes of the last episode, William Potka. We originally had a bid come in for some £3.2 million from Columbus Crew. He's rated at 4.8 million with a year left on his contract. And I was just like, no, if you want him, you're going to have to pay what he's worth. So I think I ended up asking 4.3, 4.4 million, and they've come back with this rather derisory offer. I don't want to let him go for anything less than 4 million, and I've been very upfront about that. The thing is, looking at him, he's not going to improve. He's actually starting to decline, so now is the right time to sell him. And if we can get some money in, we've got plenty in the transfer kitty that we could potentially bring in an absolute worldie of a right midfielder. Although Brazilian football being as it is, and the salary budget that we have in place, we're probably not going to be able to get like an absolute world-class player. But I would like to try and find a renowned South American player who could, if not walk into the side, then certainly give us options off of the bench, perhaps in all three positions up front. I've not scouted yet to find any players that fit that mould, so that is something that I'm going to have to get into off camera. But for now, I think I'm just going to say I'm going to renegotiate this. I've already had a look at Columbus Crew's team. Because obviously one thing that you can do is you can request to trade players. However, that is all of their players rated from best to worst, and as you can see, the pickings for someone that can play on the right are not great. You have to go all the way down to Morinigo, the Bolivian support striker, before you get someone who's comfortable playing on the right hand side. I suppose we could look at somebody like a Sorga and potentially retrain as a right-sided midfielder. I don't want to move Guerrero from that central role because I feel that he is best in that position, and I think we're going to do very well to find someone better than him. So we would need to retrain this player if we were to pick him up. Looking at him, his speed is decent, his acceleration is slightly on the low side, his balance isn't great, his physical contact is okay, so physically he might be up to it, but to be honest with you, 27 years old, he's probably approaching his peak, he's already levelling off. I think maybe we can find a younger player who can do the job for us. So let's up the transfer fee, and I'm actually going to go straight back with 4.3. Here's the weird thing, after negotiating and going well past the halfway mark and only being able to get to 4.4, if I go to halfway now I can ask for 4.8, and apparently that will piss them off less than it did last time when I asked for less money. It's amazing. So let's ask for his full value. Why not? And let's see what they come back with. If we don't sell him, it's not the end of the world. I really don't mind if we end up hanging on to him. But I think we probably will look for another player who can do some bits for us across the front line. Trelez is a player who really is only useful at centre forward. And is he actually loaned out at the moment? He is. He's loaned out. So hopefully he's going to improve when he comes back to us. He'll be decent. The only other real option that we have is Suarez. Now he can play across the front three, but he's more of a low centre of gravity, darty player. He's quick and he's nippy. He's not powerful. And if we're going to get rid of Potka, I think we need to maybe pick up a player who can give us what he gives us at the moment, which is strength and power and decent speed, not brilliant speed, but you know, a bit of a battering ram on the wing. So that's what I'm on the lookout for. But enough of that. You came here to watch football, and that's what we're going to give you. Here are the lineups for today's game. Rodriguez and Charles are actually rated very similarly. I'm going to try playing Patrick in defensive midfield. Let's see how that works out, because he's a very good ball winner. He's not too far off of Rodriguez in that way. So I think that would probably be an okay decision to make. So let's go for that. Let's have a look at the kits. There's no clash there. So off we go to sunny Brazil, the world of total wipeout and mercurial footballers with terrible cocaine habits. I love it when they give you tips for game types that you're not currently playing. I find that very, very helpful, Konami. I hope you can tell that I'm being sarcastic there. I feel like it's one of those quality of life changes that they could make. If you're playing Master League, just show me tips that relate to Master League. If I'm playing my club, show me my club tips. You know, there's a lot of tips, like, you know, control tips and whatnot, that work across all the games. But when you give me specific tips for how to use scouts in my club, it's completely pointless, because I don't play my club. I've not played my club in a couple of years. Nothing against it, it's just not really my kind of game, to be honest with you. I'd rather play Master League or maybe become a legend. But my club, it's collecting players. They're not on yearly contracts. It's all very strange. It's very weird. It doesn't feel like proper football. But again, as I've said, that's not to take away from those of you that do enjoy it. I know that there are lots of people out there that like a little bit of my club or whatever the FIFA version is called. It's just not for me. I'm the old man yelling at the clouds here. So off we go. Guerrero immediately attacks the ball, as do Lopez and Hulimar on the right hand side. Arsenal have managed to get the ball out to the left here, but very quickly Mailton able to pick the ball up, and it's given to the centre backs, who are able to distribute it out to the other side. Iago spots the run from Velasco, finds him very easily. He's got acres of space here. Ball into the box, header, and it goes harmlessly wide. I think the defender got the last touch on it. The referee indicating that there will be a corner. Lovely ball through there. Look at the space that Velasco has. And if he just played it slightly lower, it would have been perfect for Guerrero to get onto. As it is, the defender put it out. It's going to be a corner kick. Velasco in swinger on his right foot. Let's see what we can do from the corner here. In it comes. Nonato underneath it. Up in the air. Patrick picks it up, plays it back out to Diego Carlos, who plays it across to Schurz. Probably shouldn't have played it as far back as I did. We've ceded pretty much all of the attacking intent. But Iago has the ball. He's going to play it into the box. He couldn't really get on top of it. And it just skips harmlessly towards the defender. And Arsenal have made a mistake here, actually. The ball played across. Here's Hulimar. And it's an easy opening goal for Hulimar. What a mistake to make by Arsenal FC. And it's 1-0 on the night. And surely, if the scoreline remains the same in the favour of Inter, that will absolutely guarantee their passage into the final 16 of the Libertadores. What were they thinking? Absolute simplicity itself, that goal. As soon as it was picked up by Guerrero, he knew where Hulimar was. He squared it across the box, and all he had to do was side foot it into essentially a completely empty net. And there he is, polishing the boot of Guerrero. It's actually, I think, the wrong boot that he's polishing there, but never mind. Never let the facts get in the way of a good celebration. Off we go now. It's 1-0 to Inter. And if things stay the same, as I said, it will pretty much guarantee not only their passage into the next stage of Libertadores, but I believe it will pretty much guarantee that they will win the group. Bit of a clash there between Guerrero and the midfielder. Arsenal pick it up on the edge of the area. A little bit of danger here. Patrick manages to win the ball. He's a good defensively minded player, Patrick. He'll do a job for you in that role if you need him to, although he does prefer to play higher up the pitch. Ball through to Hulimar. Can he get the second here? No, it's just a little bit heavy. Sapper picking it up and immediately looks for the out ball, which he finds in the shape of Sonora, who gets it to Jimenez. Back to Sonora again. The midfield working well here. Ball's now out on the right with Schneuli. Here's Arbeliano. Back to the man whose name I cannot pronounce. Headed down, Uribari on the edge of the area. Will he look to shoot? No, he plays it in. And Donato ends up winning the ball. And here's a counter-attack, which very quickly breaks down. I don't know if that was clever defending by Patrick or if the striker, Rescaldani, just miscontrolled the ball and allowed it to run a lot further on than he intended. But either way, Inter in control of the ball now. That's a shame. Pass didn't quite come off. Arsenal with good possession around the area, but it breaks down again, and here's Inter. Lopez just wasn't thinking that that ball would come to him. He didn't continue his run. Patrick under the ball, wins the header. Lovely from Patrick. Out to Hulimar, through to Lopez. Just about losing out on the ball. They're having to double mark him to get the ball off of him though. So that's good. It means Lopez is a threat to them, and he's committing more than one man, which should create openings for his teammates. Ailton with a little bit of a nibble on the player there. They retain possession, so the foul isn't given in the end, and Lomba picks up the ball inside his area and he'll distribute it to Schurz on the left hand side of the centre backs here, out to Iago, and Inter are going to look to try to attack down this left hand side, with which they've had a little bit of joy so far. Nothing happening, so Iago plays it into Patrick, back to Velasco. Iago on the left hand side again. Velasco's making a run this time and he finds him. First time ball into the box, Guerrero underneath it, and it's in the back of the net. He makes it look so simple. Guerrero with his first goal of the night. And the cross from Velasco. It needed a little bit doing underneath it, but it was a good teasing cross. Close enough to the goalkeeper that it was a danger, but far enough away that he didn't feel comfortable coming out for it. And really the defender will probably feel that he should have done better. He's got a head over Guerrero. But in the end, he couldn't do anything about it, and it's 2-0 to Inter now. They're cruising through to the last 16. And they just flood forward here. Seemingly whenever Arsenal pass the ball, there's an Inter player in the way to stop its progress. There's Velasco proving the point as the whistle goes at half time. It's 2-0 to Inter. Pretty easy as things go for this Inter side, but they're away from home, and these games can tend to turn very quickly if you're not careful, so they're going to have to watch out in the second half. The stats making fairly pleasing reading, if not for the possession and the number of passes, then certainly for the efficiency with which Inter have attacked. 3 shots, 3 on target, 2 ended up in the back of the net. And so the second half begins. No changes made by Inter or Arsenal here. Both managers wanting to see this game out a little bit longer before they try to change things tactically, it seems. Guerrero, oh, he's just put it wide of the post. It was a nice cross in by Mailton, I believe. Into the near post area, but Guerrero just couldn't find the accuracy on the shot. Those kind of shots are difficult on the half volley. No time to control it. You just have to put your foot through it and hope that you get it in the right direction. Between Schurz and Patrick, they do a very good job of winning that ball. Nonato, Lopez can't quite get control of it. Cedes possession to Arsenal. And with a little bit of one-touch passing, they end up losing the ball as well. Here's Lomba. Plays it to Schurz, the experienced centre-back. Velasco now in the heart of the midfield. Into Hulimar. He looks to open his legs up a little bit and have a little run at this defence. Two players trying to knock him off the ball, and neither of them end up succeeding. He manages to retain possession. And here's Mailton now. There's a runner ahead of him in the form of Nonato. He finds the ball. Can he get the cross in? No, not quite. The defender getting a touch on it. Going to be a corner kick. Velasco now. Ball into the box. Guerrero's got it on the edge of the area, but he can't find enough time and space to turn and set himself for the shot. It's a really bad pass, but I think the defenders have got this covered. Indeed they do. Headed back to Lomba, who immediately rolls it back out to Schurz. Here's Velasco. And now Nonato. Lopez. I think Velasco thought a pass was going to go by him there, so he tried sliding to intercept it. Oh, that was nice. Couldn't quite manage to keep up with the pass. And I don't know what Guerrero was thinking there, but that was not the pass that Lopez was after. Luce out to Arbolino. Forward to unpronounceable name number 1. Intercepted by Inter though. Oh, that's a foul, surely. No, the referee's not giving it. You can hear what the crowd think of that. Bakir gets it back again. Sissoko. They're just looking to move it around a little bit here. Arsenal just looking for an opening. And instead, they may have given one back to Inter. Here's Hulimar. He's just offside though. Referee's called the play back. He was only a foot offside. And I don't mean the imperial measurement. But it counts the same. You could be a mile offside or an inch. Offside is offside. Here's Velasco. Hulimar looked to hold it up a little bit. Just miscontrolled it slightly, but he seems to have gotten away with it. And Lopez loses the ball to 2 defenders. No shame in that. He's being double marked. They've obviously identified him as a dangerous player for this Inter team, and he is. No more dangerous, you would say, than the other 2 players that make up that attacking front 3 for this side. Good defending by Schurz, gets his body in the way of the ball. Goes out for a corner, however. Inter are going to have to be careful on the defence of this corner. Looks like a short corner might be taken. It is. Nonato is there with Arabilano. Can't get to it though, and the shot ends up hitting the support that holds up the corner of the net there. That's the sort of shot that makes fans in some areas of the ground think that the back of the net has been troubled. But in this instance, it wasn't. Lomba to restart the game, And in fact, we'll have a look at substitutions, because I've completely forgotten in the last couple of games to really look at substitutions. I think we'll give Potka another chance to shine, and we may even allow Suarez some time as well. Donato out to Lopez on the right hand side, who is going to feel his shirt hooked in a minute, so he'll want to do something special. Left footed cross into the box, and it looked like a good one, but it didn't come off in the end, and that is going to be the end of his night. William Potka coming on in his place, along with Guerrero being replaced by Suarez. Oh, Nonato has been dispossessed there, but he does well to win the ball back. Gets it to Carlos. Patrick, Velasco, Iago. Played through to Hulimar. Suarez just checked his run slightly when he probably shouldn't have. Would have probably been better off just hanging off of the shoulder of the last defender there. He's not an out-and-out striker, so these are the things that will have to come to him through learning. Something he doesn't have to learn is how to find a pass, and he very nearly found one there for Hulimar. Donato doing his best in midfield to try and win that ball back, but he can't quite manage it against three men. Mailton may be beaten here on the right hand side, and the header goes over the bar hopelessly. I was going to say harmlessly, I probably should have said. Final score here is Arsenal 0, Internacional 2. Another win for Inter in the Libertadores. It's been a real turnaround for them this season. Last year finishing bottom of their group. This year very much looking like they're going to win it. Guerrero with a 7.5 and man of the match. Lopez not really managing to do too much, and in the short time that William Potka was on, he outperformed Lopez, so there you go. Never really understood these critics. Let's have a look at the other results from match day number 4, and you can see there Colo Colo with a 2-0 win over Once Caldas. Still not sure how to say that. I assume it's Once Caldas, maybe it's Once Caldas, who knows. There's the rest of the results, and now let's go to the table, and you can see that with 10 points we're pretty much, I say pretty much, guaranteed to go through. There is still an outside possibility, if we lose every single match left, that Arsenal and Colo Colo could overtake us. But I have a feeling that Colo Colo and Arsenal will take points off each other, and that could very well mean that we'll go through one way or the other at the expense of one of those. Really, it's just important that we continue to get points on the board so that we don't have to rely on others. And with that, that is the end of today's episode. Next time, I have no idea who we're going to be playing, but it will be a league fixture. I think perhaps we have... Okay, so we have 3 league games. Let's come back for Corinthians. That sounds like a good game to come back for. And then after that, it will be the Libertadores against Once Caldas. So that'll do for another episode. Until next time, when we will be taking on Corinthians in the Campeonato Brasileiro, or Serie A, which is probably easier to say. Thanks very much for watching. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.